depressed. It's not your chemical.
No.
They say it's your chemical imbalance, but it's not. It's your external world and what you do to yourself that causes you to be depressed.
Because I was watching, I think it was Jordan Peterson, I think, and he was saying that, you know, there is a lot, well, some people do have chemical imbalances in their brains that affect their moods and that, but he's saying that the majority of people that have it is usually from external influences. So as they're growing up, childhood traumas,
watching
pressures
shit,
of life,
watching their mum fucking beaten by their dad, or not having a mum and dad, or being in foster care and all that.
Yeah, and it's just that, you know, neglect and emotional neglect as well, you know, people, especially as kids, it's like, oh, stop crying, don't cry, don't you? You know what I mean? So you're told not to share your emotions at all. But yeah, and he was saying, over time, you just keep getting more and more things on top of it. Build up and build up.
Yeah.
And then something pops, and it could be depression or anxiety.
Yeah, that's definitely
or some kind of bipolar or some other mental health issue.
And it's normally a little thing that will make it pop. Like, innit? It's like getting dumped ain't necessarily a big thing, or your mates being your mates being thingies to you.
Yeah.
And it can all that can trigger it, and then you get to the sun. But you don't know you're depressed when you're depressed. I mean, if you're properly depressed.
Yeah.
I think people go, oh, I'm depressed because I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
When you're properly depressed, man.
Yeah, it took me a long time to recognise what it was.
You just feel like you're just doing you, you know.
And everyone has bad days or bad weeks or whatever. But with depression, it's if it affects your life in a way, it stops you doing the things you should be doing.
Yeah.
Over a long period of time. That's when you know it's something more than just feeling a bit crap.
A bit down, yeah, 100%.
And then it's recognising it. Because obviously when I first was experiencing it, I can't remember ever not having it. You know what I mean? Even when I was quite young.
Really?
Yeah.
What, how long?
I always had, I'd probably say 12 upwards. I remember
that's quite
having
wrong,
feelings,
I don't know, I think I felt that when I was 12.
Yeah.
I think I was quite happy-go-lucky when I was 12.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was generally, but there was always something that weren't, you know, and then I go through periods of time, it could be a few years, where I feel alright, and then it could be like 6 months, 8 months, feeling just like you're wading through mud, you know?
Yeah, like you're absolute shit.
Yeah.
Nobody loves me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a wanker, I'm
a
blah blah blah.
And then nobody hates you more than yourself, you know what I mean?
It's like, in the dialogue, isn't it? It's dialogue.
But yeah, and then and then obviously when I got a bit older, you know, late teens, early 20s, that's when it really started to have an effect, because you get to that point where you've got to have a job, you've got to pay rent, you've got to understand finances, you've got to understand society.
You've got to be an adult. You've got to be adulting.
Yeah, you can't just be a kid. And
you can, that's it.
Yeah.
You can be a kid. But you've got to have a healthy balance of being an adult and a kid.
Yeah, and it's getting all that boring stuff in order that you never have any experience with when you're a kid.
Yeah, and they don't teach you that in schools.
No, that's what I was going to say. They should have a class on, like, how to pay bills, how to work out your finances.
How to stress management.
Yeah, how to manage stress, how to live in an adult world. Because you live in a child's world, then all of a sudden, you're plunged into the world of adults. Because when at school, you've got that age range, haven't you, from first year, seniors, or whatever it is, year 7 or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Up to like year 11. 7. So that's, you know, that's
I got kicked out in year 10.
Yeah.
I got put into naughty boy school. Yeah.
Right, naughty boy.
So I was all the fucks. Best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so they can. Yeah, so they can focus on what your needs are, I guess. And then,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pay attention in school whatsoever. Like, teachers tell me to do something, I'll be like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm just going to sit here and do my drawing. Yeah. Because that's what I love doing. Drawing and art.
So you had your own plan.
I had my own plan from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because the people that don't do well in school do better later on down half the time anyway.
Yeah, and a lot of creative people.
Well, not all of them.
No, not all of them. But a lot of creative people, because you're quite a creative person, you know,
I'd like to
drawing,
I'd like to think so.
doing
I
furniture.
don't want to blow my own trumpet or anything.
No, blow your own trumpet, do it. And that's the thing, we're brought up not to do that. And I don't know whether it's just a UK culture thing, but we're supposed to be humble and not show off. You know, and if you're confident, people think you're arrogant. If you believe in yourself, people think you're arrogant. Whereas I think in the United States, it's encouraged to be confident, and if you're good at something, you know, be proud of the fact you are. Whereas we play everything down, don't we? Someone could say, "Oh, you're really good at say
British
the
ways
guitar,"
to say
and you'll
sorry
be like,
all the time, isn't it?
"Yeah, I might be like, oh, your guitar's really good, like playing," and you'll be like, naturally, "Oh, well, you know, it's all right, it's a bit crap." And it's like, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? Yeah, I've been practicing and I'm getting better, but you know, in the English culture, we're not supposed to.
Yeah, we say sorry a lot, don't we?
Yeah, apologise.
Oh, sorry.
For everything.
Only joking.
Yeah.
What was you said the other day? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You need that reassurance.
You're reassuring yourself, man. And that's where you need to get at a point where you're not reassuring yourself.
Yeah.
Where you're like, do you know what? I know who I am. Deep down, and I know what I'm saying is good, so I'm not going to say sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, say sorry when you mean sorry.
Yeah, if you've done something bad.
Don't be a horrible person who never says sorry, but breaking that thing of not saying sorry.
Yeah, we're a nation of apologists.
I say that a lot. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
And I never say anything that's that complicated.
No.
That I'd need to ask them if they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
you just said it there. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect.
You know, it's in there, isn't it?
Yeah. It's deeply rooted. But where was I going with that? What was I talking about? I had a point. It'll come back. But yeah, so
it was to do with years.
Yeah, that's right. So there's that.
New range.
Yeah, you've got that age range from first year to fifth year, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so it's only a small age range, really.
Yeah.
When you go into the outside world after school, your age range goes from 16 to 1900. You know what I mean? So it's all these different people from different walks of life that you've now got to merge in with. And it's a hard transition to make. No? What does a 16-year-old have in common with a 45-year-old?
Yeah, factory worker.
Yeah.
Who's had enough of life.
Yeah, who's had the fun and all that, and they're at the point where they're in a dead-end job. They've got no real creative energy anymore.
Well, they've let it get sucked all out of them.
Yeah.
It's the thing, I see people that are older working, and it's like, and they're depressed, man, but they're functionally depressed.
Yeah.
They don't even know they're depressed, but they're sitting there in the mornings at 8 o'clock, smoking away this bloody cigarette that's killing them. And they don't even know that they're really down, and they're following a path that's making them like that.
Yeah, they just think that's normal life.
And you can switch it around and do your own thing, but you've just got to have your own self-confidence and get out of the depression before you can do that.
Yeah. So with depression, how do you know when you feel depressed? Have you got certain sort of symptoms?
I don't know. It's a bit of a slow decline, like you say. I don't know, like waves. It's a slow decline, isn't it? It's like some shit happens, or something else happens, something else happens, and then it all builds up.
Yeah.
And then I'll find myself not getting out of bed on time, laying in all the time, not washing up, not cleaning myself.
Yeah.
But it's not like that straight away.
No.
It's slowly not washing.
So it's like a gradual, quite a bit.
Until you become overweight, not washed, your hair's all crazy. I mean, my hair's crazy, but I like it.
Yeah, I ain't got that problem.
But and then before you know it, you've spent 2 years laying in bed, wallowing in your own sorrow, taking loads of drugs, drinking loads of alcohol, and you don't realise it. I mean, people down the pub, I was sitting down the pub yesterday and they're all laughing like, oh, let's get some stuff in, and like, I can't wait to go and do it. And I'm sitting there with my mate just having a chat about going climbing and doing healthy things, you know? And I can totally remember being that person who's like...
And that's the thing,
until you're out of it, though, you don't realise how bad that really is.
It's like looking from outside in, it's obvious, you know what I mean? It's like, when I'm in bad depressive states, I mean, fortunately I don't get in them because I understand, it's been going on for a long time. I understand what the signs are and what
you've worked out yourself.
Yeah, but sometimes it just takes over.
It's a very narcissistic thing, depression.
Can be, yeah. Can be.
That's
very self-centered.
You can't be depressed if you're not narcissistic. And not necessarily toxic narcissism, but it's a very self-centered thing.
It is, and you can't, when you're in the depths of it, you can't see from other people's perspectives. You know what I mean? You can't think, I hope so-and-so's alright, or I hope they're alright. You're so absorbed and looking inwards.
Yeah.
It's impossible for you to really even empathise with people.
Oh yeah, totally.
Sometimes, sometimes you have, with me, sometimes I have too much empathy. Like, I'm concerned about everything going on in the world, everything I read on Facebook or on the news. It makes me feel anxious.
Yeah, angry.
And that I can't do anything.
You can't do jack about that.
Yeah.
That's all made up.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I think
TV.
Yeah.
Alert.
Yeah.
This has blown up. This has happened. These have been killed.
And
that's all to shock you.
Yeah.
And keep you hooked on the
keep you
news
transfixed on media.
News and sex and drugs. Go on, do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Because we want you to feel down.
Yeah. And it is like so I think, because we talked about this before, like social media is like a tractor beam of negativity.
Oh,
and you find yourself transfixed to negative stuff.
Mm.
And from like a psychology perspective, we are creatures that are naturally on alert all the time. We've got anxiety in us because we're concerned about being attacked or finding food or whatever, back in the day before we became society. And this is why I think that negative stuff stands out more. Like, you could read 10 posts of positive, say on Facebook for example, 10 positive posts.
That's all I post, man. It's positive stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
I make a conscious thing to just post positive stuff.
But that one negative post that you read, that affects you straight away, because you're naturally looking for things to be anxious about.
You always remember the bad.
Yeah, because we don't have to run from saber-toothed cats or anything anymore, so we find things.
So this is why we need to get off the screens. We need to get off the screens, and we need to run at night, and we need to run in the morning, because that is what we're naturally. I mean, a lot of people say it on a lot of podcasts now that is what we're naturally born to do.
Yeah.
Is to run and be healthy and not lay in and just be like this.
Yeah, it's unnatural.
Bad back, a bad neck.
I'm gonna just where were we? Social media.
Social media, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When I was, as I was saying, when I was younger, there was less input of all this stuff. It was like you had the newspaper that your parents might buy and leave on the side.
Yeah.
You had the BBC and ITV.
Well, I don't
news,
remember that, but I
4.
just about remember.
Yeah. Or you'd have TV news or radio. That's it. So at least you still feel things, but you're not worrying about overseas concerns and things that problems that people down the road have, like all that. You only know that by speaking directly to them. Like, whereas now,
in your time, you only directly speak.
Yeah, like say when I was.
You phone your mate up through the house phone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You couldn't even walk away from. You got a
wire. Yeah.
I just about remember that, but not really.
Yeah, because well before mobile phones and all that, and because I think there's probably about 18 years difference between us.
Yeah. 25.
So when I was 25, I was
40.
I'm 43. So
43.
Yeah.
Look about 20 something.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
But so in a way, you're still restricted, but you still, these feelings of depression stuff are in you through personal whatever.
Oh yeah, so
it doesn't matter. But it's a bit easier to handle because your world is a bit smaller. Whereas now, the world
was a bit simpler.
Yeah, it was simpler. That's probably what I meant, rather than smaller.
Yeah,
simpler.
Simpler times.
Yeah, whereas now the world is smaller.
It probably wasn't as simpler.
No, it didn't feel like it at the time.
Like I was speaking to one of my mates' mums, and I was saying this, and she's like, "No, we had it just We had it just as bad as you guys. Just as bad.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was a different sort of bad.
It was. And it was less acceptable to have mental health issues, I think.
Oh, totally. What if you went to your mum and dad and went, Mum, Dad, I feel like killing myself?
Yeah.
That would be a bigger deal than it would be now.
Yeah, it would. And I would agree with that. And then it depends on what your parents like, how wise they are to mental health. Because some people never suffer with mental health, so they don't understand the concept of someone feeling depressed. They're like, well, I felt sad the other day, and then I feel alright now. Like, it's not the same.
It's not the same, no.
But I mean, now you've got so much negative influence, like with Facebook, Instagram, all social media.
Share this post because I've got depression and anxiety for 10 other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Every year, so and so men kill themselves.
Yeah, and it's like,
blah blah blah.
Yeah, I feel really shit today. I'll WhatsApp, I'll DM you, and all this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of attention grabbing.
It's the ego, man.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, with like depression is it's a narcissistic thing, and ego is a very narcissistic thing. So it in a way, it's training people to care about their ego is to be narcissistic, which is why all these kids that are taking photos or posted every fucking flipping meal they have on Facebook and that is what. We got a cat.
Celebrity cat.
That is what makes you depressed. They don't realise it because they get a little dopamine hit when they share that, or they get a little dopamine hit when their mates comment on it, and that's not real. That's not real life. Real life is turning that screen off. Yeah. And going and sit down with your mate like we're doing now, having a couple of beers, having a chat, and that's therapy, man.
Yeah, because it's hard to do that with people now because say you do go to the pub on a normal circumstance before this lockdown and before all that, you'd sit down, you'd bump into your mates, wouldn't you, and you'd sit. Yeah. But it'd be like you'd sit down with your pint, how's it going, and people are like, yeah, I'm alright, you?
Yeah.
And then it's like you start having a conversation and it's like how many times have you started talking and you're saying something that you think's really interesting and someone just goes like, that's why you're talking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're like, yeah. You're like, I'm making a really good point here.
Yeah. You feel like slapping them, don't you?
Yeah.
I do it as well.
Yeah, just grab their phone and drop it in their pint. That's enough.
I've made a conscious decision to try and keep my phone away from me sometimes when I'm moving for it.
Yeah.
So I'll zip it in my bag if I've got a rucksack, or I'll put it in my back pocket and I'll try and not back pocket.
Yeah.
I'll put it in my pocket and I'll try and forget that it's there.
Yeah.
And I do little things like I'm on the bus. I was on the bus going to see my friend the other day, and I thought I'm not going to go on my phone. I'm just going to look outside at the view.
It's all a bit of nature.
And I'm looking at the view, having a really good time, feeling good. And I notice there's 4 or 5 people on the bus, and they're all like this.
Yeah.
And again, they're all slouched over on their phones.
Yeah, posture's terrible.
Posture's terrible. And there's me, I'm just looking out the window, posture's good, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And it's like, everyone's hooked into this, to this thing, and they need to get out of it.
Drawn in. It's because you get these little mini, like you said, dopamine hits. When you get a few likes and stuff, it's like, I feel a little jolt of like happiness.
But it's fake.
It's false, it's not real. And when you say, you've gone out, like I'm sure you've probably gone out and forgotten your phone, but then it's too late to go back and get it. You end up having a really good time out without it, because you haven't got constant interruptions, constant like negative stuff, or people after you about whatever, and you're just like, right, it's just me and my surroundings now. Yeah.
And you feel a lot better for it.
You do, yeah.
You do feel better for it.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing when we're talking about depression and stuff. I think there's a lot of people are seeing all this negative stuff, and it's putting them into a depressed state. And they might have they might not suffer with that before.
Well, not even negative, like positive. You go on Facebook and you see all this fake happiness.
Yeah.
People with their $100 meal. £100 meal.
Yeah, look how happy you are.
Or they're out with their girlfriend and they're posting pictures like they're the best. Yeah. But you only seen the good there. You ain't seen them halfway down the road having an argument about not paying for the dinner.
And people generally put things like that up just after they've had an argument. You know what I mean? Like people have witnessed them have a screaming row. And you're like, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, I need to tell everyone that everything's fine now and we're all happy and look at us, we're going to this and that. And it's like, people, what I've found, like from maybe my generation, I can't really speak for a generation before, but I found people tend to, the people that are truly happy in their relationships or whatever, they tend to come away from putting pictures on. And, you know, I was like that, you know, when you first meet someone, you want the world to know that you're together. Put pictures on Facebook, we're going here, we're going there.
You shouldn't do it.
And as time goes on, you don't need that anymore.
No, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm happy with my relationship.
The best relationships are the people that don't even know. Like, why in this generation, like my generation now, you've got to, if you get in a relationship, you need to put on Facebook you're in a relationship.
Yeah, you need to validate it with Facebook.
You don't need to do that.
No, so Facebook official, I think.
You need to unplug from that because it's just narcissism and getting an ego feeling.
Yeah, and I think that's it. If you are a person that is depressed, one, you know, suffers with depression, deals with anxiety and things like that, when you put that picture up of you and your mates or you and your missus or whatever, and everyone's like commenting, oh, great picture, like, it does hit you and make you feel more confident. And especially, and in a way, it can bring you up out of depressive state. You know, if you get a lot of connection with people, but it can have much worse effects if you don't get them likes, if you don't get them comments. Like how is a depressed person going to deal with the fact that they put a really good picture up and everyone thinks it's shit? Because that's what they're going to think. That's a rubbish picture. I'm not going to like or comment it. It's going to push them down even more. So it's an unreliable source.
This is what I say. I mean,
so help yourself.
When I was really down, man, and I felt like crap, I wasn't getting out of bed for ages. I was drinking loads, doing loads of drugs, all that. I didn't have a phone at that point because I dropped it because I was too drunk and I'd smashed it. And I didn't bother having a phone. And it was quite nice.
You didn't have a phone for ages.
For like a year and a half almost of not having a phone. Which was good in a way, but bad. Like, my mates wanted to get hold of me, they couldn't get hold of me. They wanted to see if I was all right. I think I went away to see my mates for one weekend. And I got back and all my mates were really angry with me. They all thought I topped myself. They literally thought I topped myself. It's like, no. I'm just out with other friends because I'm feeling down and that. And then I eventually did get a phone. I did get a phone. And to be honest with you, it doesn't make you feel happier.
No.
I'm happier that I can go and meet my friends and do these events.
Easier, isn't it?
But I did find myself when I first got it, spending 3 hours flicking through this. And if you don't catch yourself and realise that, you can spend 3-4 hours
easily
doing nothing.
Scrolling.
So I've made a conscious decision, turn it off in the day, do my art, or do my drawing, or listen to some music, or chat to a friend on the phone, but not looking at it. Not look at it all the time, man.
So, like, speaking about...
I'm going to grab. My neck. You want a glass?
Might as well.
Got some frosted glasses here.
That appears comes to my head a little bit. Cheers.
Cheers. We're not alcoholics.
Yeah,
we just like a drink.
I know, as I was talking about depression and getting drunk and all that. But the thing is, there's different ways. It's like anything, isn't it? If you're in a really happy place and you have a few beers, you know, it's fine. If you're in a sad place and you have a few beers, you do feel happier temporarily. But
I find myself drinking like that. Like, you know, the old bluesy man at the bar with the whiskey. All sad. That's how I feel if I drink when I'm down. Whereas if I'm happy and I'm with myself.
But there's something to be said for that. Like alcohol, it's like any drug, isn't it? It's like in moderation, it's okay. You know, taking legality out of it.
100%.
It's
creeps up on you as well. Alcohol.
And the thing is with depression, you can easily get caught in a trap of using substances, whether it's drugs, whether it's
alcohol, whether it's smoking, whether
Sex.
it's sex, or gambling or whatever.
Gambling.
All these things.
Gambling's quite a big
all
one.
these things give you that hit of feeling good for a brief moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like it's the answer, like, because I went through a stage of drinking a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you think it's helping because it blocks things out, you know?
It does block it out. You don't realise it blocks it out.
You don't realise, yeah. But then you always have some kind of come down, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you wake up the next day.
Horrific.
Hungover.
Yeah, hungover.
Anxious.
Really nervous. I don't know about you, but I always have that, what did I do? Have I done something?
Yeah.
Even if you can remember everything, you still have that feeling of,
what did I
upset someone? Have I said something I shouldn't?
Was that girl really dancing with me, or was I forcing her to dance with me?
Yeah.
It's bad,
Yeah, and, 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 you've just got pissed and fell over, you know what I mean? But you think, did I have a fight? Did something happen?
Yeah.
And then you beat yourself up about it.
Yeah.
And you think the only way I can feel better now is to have another beer. And that's because alcohol's addictive, and the alcohol wants...
It's a social addiction.
It's like a symbiote, isn't it? It wants to be in you.
It's not great for you.
No.
I think I saw a thing on Facebook of Mike Tyson, who smokes a bit of cannabis every now and again. It's a really healthy boxer and that. And there was another bloke, he's 15, this is the same roundabout age. Don't fact check me on this, I don't know.
I think Tyson's about 50.
But there's another bloke who just drinks alcohol.
Yeah.
You want to see him at 50, he's got wrinkles like this, he looks terrible. And that's legal, and the other ones are illegal.
Yeah, because there is a lot of that, and there's a lot of sort of drugs out there that...
Not that either of them are better than each other.
They aren't particularly that bad for you and do have some kind of medicinal purposes, but I mean, alcohol doesn't have any of that. Like, you never hear reports of alcohol can be the next treatment for depression. Like, you hear that about some sort of psychedelics or some cannabis oils and things like that.
Oh yeah,
you hear
CBD
there's
oil.
Scientific proof to show that this helps.
Yeah, but even if you overdo it on the CBD oil, it can have negative effects on you, man.
And that's the thing with alcohol. There's nothing in it that's medicinal.
No.
Like, there's not... I don't think I've ever read a report that says, a genuine one, that says alcohol can fix this.
Microdose half a can of Stella every day and you'll feel brilliant.
Have half a can of Stella every day.
Whereas with
treat your depression.
But that's like with medication and that. I mean, it helps some people and that. But I really do believe if you're depressed, you need to sit by yourself. You need to think of the situations you've been through. And you need to realise which ones are good and which ones you need to cut out. And you need to do some self-thinking. It's not about taking this, I don't know, lithium or, what did you,
like
antidepressant would you take? Or
sertraline and Prozac and that sort of thing.
Estacloropram or all this. And, I can't sleep, so I need some diazepam to help me sleep.
Yeah.
All that, man, that's just going to make you feel shit in the long run.
It's just like a plaster. And the thing is with antidepressants, I think if you're in such a bad way that you can't function properly in life, then you absolutely need to take some medication, I think, to get you into that. Because that's what happened with me. I started taking, this is years ago, I went to the doctor. That's what I was going to talk about. I went to the doctor years ago and said, I think I've got depression. Because back then it was like, if someone had depression, they were in a mental home.
You'd never get a gun licence once you said that as well.
And
you were down on the system once you said that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Totally.
But and that's the thing, like,
guns.
the doctor just said to me, well, all I can do is give you a blood test, and that's it. I was like, well, how's that going to help? He's like, well, it'll detect if you've got any sort of illnesses.
Right.
Later on, makes sense, some illnesses you have show the symptoms of depression. But there was no follow-up, no nothing. No. And it was like, I had a blood test and obviously everything was fine.
Yeah.
And that was it. But I said, do I need to go? And by then I was like, well, what's the point in me going back? Because I was like...
Because you build yourself up to go in.
I shared my experiences with him, said how depressed I feel. And like I said back then, if you was the people you knew that were depressed or had this or had that, they were in hospitals. You know what I mean? It weren't like Dave down the street suffering depression. So
it was like you're depressed, you're being institutionalised.
Yeah, you're nuts.
Bad.
Like,
Was that how it was back then?
Well, it wasn't so much institutional, it's just other people would see you as someone with, you know, who's seriously...
And reversed a couple of hundred years, and you said you got depression and anxiety, you would be
probably hang you.
You're lobotomised.
Yeah.
One of my older mates' dads knew someone who did. He was in a mental institute, and he did get lobotomised.
Yeah.
And they did do stuff like that too.
You know,
he's
the
all right
electric
now.
Shock thing that they do?
Yeah, electric shock therapy,
Yeah, they still do that now.
Yeah, but it's on a much more lesser thing.
It's like a state of emergency, like with
Can
that.
they still do that now?
Yeah. If it's that bad,
I did not know that.
and they've tried everything, like they've exhausted all options, they'll do that buzz thing, and it has quite good results.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest, didn't have good results.
No, but obviously the technology's advanced quite a lot since then.
Whereas they would strap you down back in, what is it, even the 1950s and that, they'd strap you down and send loads of volts in there, and you'd just be dribbling after like that.
Yeah, it's like, you're not
again.
depressed anymore, but then you can't talk to anyone.
Brain frazzled.
But, you know, I'm sure it has got, but yeah, I mean, that's got to be a last resort.
But it's like depression, man, it's all different things for different people, isn't it? Like you say, medication helps you, I mean, because your depression is very, it was, like you say, when you was younger, you even bloody felt it. You know what I mean? So it's probably in there. Whereas my depression didn't really hit until bloody 20s, I'd say.
Yeah.
Really. I'm quite a happy-go-lucky person. I had all these events of all this bad stuff. Won't go into it, but bad stuff that happens, and then all of a sudden you get to. And I think 20s is it's hard time.
I think it's quite common in the 20s. And then that's where things change a lot.
I went to the doctor and I said, I feel like crap. You felt killing yourself, like I felt like doing that. I thought of it. I ain't gonna do it.
No, I was like that.
But I thought of it,
Yeah.
Like,
and it's one thing thinking it, and it's another thing, like you plan it in your head. Like, this is what I do. I do this, I do this.
Yeah. That's what they asked me. Have you had a plan to do that? And it's like, I've got a plan, man. I've got a plan to exit his life.
Yeah.
But he gave me he prescribed me some antidepressants and that, and I took them for a while.
Yeah.
But then I'm taking them, and I'm depressed. So I'm obviously I'm drinking loads. I'm taking loads of other stuff on top of it, which probably isn't the best thing to start taking. Or is it an SSRI? A serotonin something inhibitor. It's not good to take when you're drinking loads and you're doing things.
No.
And it made me feel fucking worse. It made me feel worse.
Yeah.
But then it was just a long process of being down. You got to let yourself be down.
You've got to accept it,
You're down right now and you're going to lay in bed for a while.
Exactly.
People are going to think you're a lazy bastard, but you're not.
Yeah.
You've got to remind yourself you're not, man.
Yeah.
Set boundaries with them people.
Yeah, it's not being lazy, it's feeling like you haven't got the ability to do it. Whatever that it might
really
be.
haven't got the ability to do it.
But I think that's what I was going to say about the medication. Like when I took it, because I had a couple of long periods of it, and the first time I took the antidepressants, it got me out of that real low, and then I could go to work and I could do all the things.
Was you doing loads of other substances with it?
No, not the first time.
So the first time
I'd have a few beers here and there.
Yeah, but you cut down on the beers.
Yeah.
You done it properly. Like my mates have done that properly as well. Who suffer with anxiety. They've been right. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to take these. I'm going to get myself out of the slump.
Yeah.
That's the right way of doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then once you get through that, then you start feeling better about yourself. And because counselling, I had some counselling, but I didn't get on with it. You know what I mean? It just didn't really.
No. Yeah.
I just thought, this is a bit pointless. This, and the therapist just constantly talked about themselves. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, and I was a bit like, hold on, isn't this about me? Like every problem I had, she'd had the same problem, or.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? It was really weird.
That's like talking to one of your bad mates about it.
Yeah, I had 5 sessions, and I was like, I'm just talking about her. You know what I mean? I'm not actually getting anywhere, so I just cut them short. But yeah, the first time, and then
wasn't the right therapist for you then.
No, definitely not. And then I went on and I trained it as a hypnotherapist, so I could learn about all this stuff. You know what I mean? And mainly for myself, how to deal with my own stuff.
Yeah.
Using self hypnosis, which is actually really does work for me. And I did that. So like as time goes on, you start learning what works and what doesn't. And the thing is, when you first start experiencing it, sometimes you just don't know what's going on. You know, you're like, what the hell is the matter with me? You know?
I had mates before that got really down and was on medication, and before that I was like, well, what are you doing on medication, man? Like, stop being such a sad sack.
Man up,
and all this. But until you've been through it, you don't realise.
No.
You don't realise what they're going through.
Yeah.
And then I went through it myself, and I got really overweight, and all this, and I tried taking all them antidepressants. They didn't help.
Yeah.
And I just had to really look inwards on myself.
Yeah.
And go, right, yeah, this is what this person was feeling. I totally understand now how they feel. Yeah. How could I be so horrible to say, just man up? Yeah. Like, how much could that really have affected me saying that?
That's what, you know, especially sort of when I was sort of in my early 20s, you know, late teens, early 20s, it was very much a society of man up, do what you got to do. Don't be so ridiculous. Like, do this. I'm not saying I had anyone personally did that to me, but it felt that way. You know, I'm a man. I should.
Don't cry. Boys don't cry.
I should never show emotion. I should never show weakness. That's a lot
emotion
of pressure.
Emotion is weakness. That's what
emotion is weakness. And there's a lot of pressure on you, especially when you feel emotional, when you feel fragile, and you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And with like the medication, eventually I got to a point where I started noticing something really weird. Like, I didn't feel so depressed anymore, but then I didn't feel very happy either. Like, I wasn't getting a lot of joy out of things, but I wasn't in the bottom. Yeah, so it's like, if you imagine happiness is up here and misery is there, it's like I've squashed it to about there, so I don't feel that happiness. I don't feel that misery.
No, you're just on a flat line, man. You're just going through it.
Yeah, nothing really excited me.
Yeah,
you know?
Someone could call you everything and you just be like,
whatever.
Yeah.
Like, not bothered about anything.
Yeah, that's what it does. It takes away your personality a lot.
Yeah, it does.
That's what they say. It
suppresses everything. And, you know, all the things that I enjoyed doing, like martial arts was one of my big things that I absolutely loved. And creative stuff, writing and stuff like that, and I was getting no joy out of those, like I did when I was feeling depressed. Like, all those things just didn't do it for me.
You did nothing when you're depressed.
Yeah, and then so although I wasn't feeling depressed, I still wasn't getting any enjoyment out of the things that I love doing.
Which ain't right.
So I was like, I mean, I went about it the wrong way. I just stopped taking them. Like,
straight up.
Yeah, I was taking them for a long time, and I just went, that's it, done. And I thought, and I did some research, thought, alright, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to feel dizzy, I'm going to
feel terrible.
A lot of times felt like,
did you get the shake?
Yeah, all sorts of sweats and and restless leg syndrome.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where you can't stop moving your legs when you're trying to sleep.
They've got special medication for that.
Yeah, I know. Nightmares, like lucid dream nightmares, so very, very vivid, yeah. And so I had a lot of side effects, but I was like, no, I'm going to just persevere.
Yeah.
And eventually all them things stopped, and then I was like, right, so I know now I feel depressed again. You know what I mean?
So you was back to fucking...
so I then found...
back to the same thing.
And then I found other ways, like meditation and things like that.
Meditation, yeah.
And exercise and being outside.
Exercise, being outside, not looking at a screen all day.
Yeah.
It does help, it does help.
Yeah, and it's like, a lot of the time, say you go to doctors with depression, and they say, right, we'll get some more exercise, go out for a walk. And if you say you're not going to take the medication, that's what they'll say to you. Get exercise, do this. Yeah, and then you're like, all right.
Okay, but I can't even roll out of bed.
Yeah, exactly that.
Until 3:30.
Yeah, yeah.
You think I'm going to do some thingy?
Yeah.
I hate myself.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to run?
How am I supposed to, because that's sort of an analogy I think of with when you're feeling depths of depression. It's like you're wading through waist-height mud. Your world's shrunk. It's like this little. You're in this little bubble.
Little self.
Nothing else exists.
No,
you know, and then it's like, and even you go out in the sunshine, it feels dark. Like it's really hard to explain.
Yeah, I was really anxious, man. I wouldn't walk into a shop until after dark.
Yeah.
I'd wait till dark.
Yeah.
To go
you
out
don't want
and
anyone
go
to
the
see
shop.
you or look at you or. You.
Because you're like this, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then it's all right for people to say, "Well, just go and get some exercise." Like, well, it's not that easy. But I sort of developed.
Needs confidence in itself.
Yeah, and like I sort of developed a technique, if you can call it that, of when I'm in that sort of bubble. Say I want to go for a walk.
Yeah.
I always have to give myself a target, so I'll go for a walk and I'll get a can of Coke from the shop. Like that would be it. That's my walk.
Yeah, that's your
and then what I'd do is I wouldn't think about each step. I'd just try and switch everything off, and I'd be like, right, just allow your body to move. So you know you can put your shoes on because you've done it every day of your life. So right, that's the first step. I'm gonna put my shoes on.
So
not thinking anymore.
Don't think about it too much.
Next thing, I'm gonna, put a t-shirt on or whatever, and then right, I'm gonna go outside, but not think I'm gonna go outside. Just let your body take you through the motions, and then you get to your door. Even though you're in your mind, you're probably thinking, "Oh my God,
oh no,
oh what," but you let your body take over.
And just go and do it.
As soon as you open that door, take a big deep breath, walk out, and breathe in, take a few deep breaths, not think any further than breathing. And then I'd take 3 deep breaths and I'd look for some kind of nature, whether it's a sky, trees or whatever, look at it.
A little bird flying by.
Yeah, look at it, and then all of a sudden that fog lifts to a certain extent, and then you can go about what you're doing. And that, it wasn't something I did first time and it worked. You know what I mean? I tried it and tried it. Sometimes
it's in the back of your head for a long while.
Sometimes I'm like, right, just put my shoes on. That's it. Don't go any further than that. The next day, right, go outside. You know what I mean? And then come back in again. Like it's a very gradual process. And sometimes now I do it now, and I'm like, just let your body do the movements.
Yeah.
And it seems to work. But then I've got more of a handle on it now. So.
Yeah, I mean,
most of the time.
I'd go out, I'd have this big coat that I'd wear, this big super dry coat, the ones with all the zips.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd zip it right up, man.
Yeah.
Zip it right up, I would, even if it was hot.
Off
and I'd have this hood up. I wouldn't want anyone to see me.
Yeah.
And like, I've got loads of friends. I'm quite a friendly guy. I love the social thing.
Don't you?
And I wouldn't want anyone to see me, man. I'd have this hood up all the time. And when I was depressed, I was doing that for maybe a half a year, a good couple of months of doing that.
Yeah. So what do you think helped you with dealing with it? So when you had all these feelings, was there certain things you did that
100
leveled you out?
110% mates.
Yeah.
Mates to stick by you, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even though they think you're a complete waste of time, and they're about this close and cutting you off, they still stuck with me.
Yeah.
A few good mates, definitely helped me out.
Yeah.
And then just going through it, man, because your depression, like you say, is going to last however long it lasts.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, so you got to ride out the storm.
You got to ride it out.
Yeah.
You got to ride out the storm.
Yeah.
And I let it ride out.
So, because
and then I slowly started doing little things like washing up.
Yeah.
Cleaning myself.
Yeah, gradually.
Having a bath. Getting up.
Yeah.
Going to see my mates. And stopping all the narcotics and the drinking is a big thing. You've got to get a handle on that stuff. Yeah. Addiction before you can get a handle on yourself.
Yeah. Because that's a whole separate problem in itself. There's depression, then there's drug addiction or alcohol addiction or gambling or whatever.
Which is caused from the depression.
And that's completely different, Like some people have those addictions, they don't have depression. But people with depression often have these addictions.
Because of the bloody depression.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I slowly started. Getting a job again was a good thing. With this coronavirus going about and everyone losing their jobs and that. Yeah. It's heightened massively. And I think people shouldn't worry as much, man, because a job's a job. They will come and go.
It's always jobs.
I mean, I'm only 25 and I've probably had about 13 jobs.
Yeah, I've had a good few.
And about half of them have been sacked on bad terms because I effed up. You know, that was me.
So, but that's the thing. I think there's this thing. If you're a creative person, creative people seem to find it difficult to do regular, normal jobs.
I've got a rebellion streak, man.
Yeah,
I don't like authority.
Yeah, I can do normal jobs, but I feel like I don't want to be doing it.
I do it on my own terms. If someone tells me to do something, I'm like,
yeah, you're like, no, I was going to do it anyway, but now you've told me to, I ain't going to bother.
I ain't going to do that, man.
Yeah.
Don't tell me to do it, I'll do it in my own time.
Yeah.
But I'm very much like that. But yeah, getting out of depression, man, I mean, just getting in a job, getting in a routine again.
Yeah.
Getting some money behind you is good.
Oh, yeah.
And then exercise for me a lot now. Like, since July, I decided to run.
Yeah.
I decided to run every day. Even at the start, it was just a little run here and there.
Yeah.
And now I can run the whole bloody village.
Yeah.
And I don't feel out of breath. I don't feel anything. I swap that from smoking, drinking. I sweat all that stuff out of me. Yeah. And I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, we're sitting here now drinking and that, but I can have 2 of these right now. And I'm going to go for a climb later on tonight with my mate. Yeah. And then possibly we might go down the pub for the last hour. Yeah. And we're just going to have 1 or 2
cycles. That's a more healthy thing than sitting at home on your own, downing beer after beer or whatever. Yeah. You know.
It's friends, man. Yeah. And if you ain't got that safety net around you, I can totally see how it spirals down to I am actually just going to end it all.
And that's the thing, like, I went sort of had a second spike of really, really bad depression. And I was on medication and all that, and it weren't really doing it for me. It was a similar sort of thing as before, but at the time I was drinking a lot, you know what I mean, and doing other stuff. And
when you drink a lot.
Yeah, so really I wasn't fighting a losing battle, you know, I wasn't going to get through it, but, you know, eventually something snaps in you, and, you know, you're like, right, I've got to sort this out now.
Yeah, you got to get yourself out of the situation. So I was sitting in the pub and I'm hearing all these boys having a laugh, all drunk, and fair enough, you're having a laugh and that, but it's not the way to go, mate. Like, I can see it in you now. You're through it. I can see that you can't see it, but I can see that you're not really enjoying it as much as you're making out, going and taking all that stuff and drinking all them drinks and that. Just take a step back, man, and just drink one, and then have some water, lemon, cup of tea. Order a cup of tea down the pub. See how many people go, oh, you're having a cup of tea for? No. I'm taking it easy on myself.
Yeah, I actually did that before, and like, because everyone knew me as like a bit of a big drinker. And it was one afternoon in the pub, and I was like, I'm gonna have a cup of tea. Everyone's like, what, are you in the pub? I was like, no, I want a cup of tea. So I had a teapot, a cup, you know what I mean? I had enough for a couple, and everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't actually care. Like, this is what I want to do.
It's good for a social experiment. To see what mates call you out for having a cup of tea, and which mates are just like, oh, that's good that you're having a cup of tea.
Yeah, and my mates who know me quite well. You know, nothing would surprise them. You know what I mean? So they were like,
they'd be like, oh, big up for you having a cup of tea.
Yeah, and it was.
But it's the ones that ain't really mates that really just want to have a drinking partner and like, so having that bloody cup of tea. Have a beer with me.
Yeah, get drunk.
Like, no, have a fag. No, I don't want a fag.
Yeah. And this is the thing with people that are in that trap. What they enjoy is being around people. That's the crux of it.
It's a social thing.
They think it's the alcohol and fags and drugs, but really it's just being around people. And it's almost like we're in a society now that we're distancing ourselves from each other. You know, we can just talk on Facebook or on
which ain't real.
Skype or whatever.
I mean, I don't do it a lot. No, I hate texting, of course. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people do.
We're not, and even in, you know, say you're in a pub, say me and you was in a pub, and there's a couple of others, there'd be someone that's like, oh, so-and-so isn't it, I'll message them. And then they're on the phone messaging them, and they're missing out on the fact that they're actually socialising. Yeah. Because they're talking to someone through.
Yeah, they're talking to some bird that they're never going to meet on Tinder.
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, it's like do that when you're sitting at home on your own.
Don't even do that
do it when your
home.
mates are there, you know.
Because it's all just an ego thing.
Yeah, no.
But that's my philosophy on things, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't feed
That's
your
ego caressing.
Feed other people's egos. You feel a lot better.
Yeah.
You
that's
feel
true,
a lot better for it. I feel better feeding other people's egos than myself. Yeah.
So do you think when you're doing your drawings and that sort of thing, does this help you with like depression and stuff like that, or can it create more?
No, 100% it helps. Because I get the flow state. The flow state, I don't know. Like, time goes quick.
Yeah.
Anything that you do and time flies by, do more of that bloody thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the drawing, I can sit there and I come up with a good idea and I draw, and 5 hours or 6 hours gone by and it feels like an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And I've created this good thing, and I've been totally chill. I haven't been thinking about anything, you know, apart from what I'm doing in front of me, which is a good thing to do.
So it's almost like meditation in a way.
Almost meditation.
Just focusing on that one
Sports
thing.
to some people.
Yeah.
Going out and playing golf to some people is that flow state.
Yeah.
But for me, totally drawing, and doing my t-shirt printing as well. It keeps me busy. Like I've been collabing with my friends and that, or I've had outside people from America and California want to buy my stuff. And,
excellent.
Yeah, and then they're giving me shout outs and their videos and that, and just feels good, man.
It must
Definitely
feel nice,
feels good.
sort of being recognised and appreciated for the art. You know, like you said, people from America and all that. And that's quite hard for people here to breach that gap between America and the UK. So, you know, even having people in the States liking your stuff, it's a good thing. Yeah.
Because I'm my worst critic, man. I draw something and I think, that ain't that good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to post that. But then when I do post it and it gets 100% likes on an art group, I'm like, and then you've got people asking me if they can have a t-shirt printed from it.
Yeah.
And man, that gives you a good buzz.
Yeah.
That gives you a better buzz than sitting down the pub with your mates.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Or you can sit down at the pub with your mates, but if you do it every bloody night, it ain't good for you.
Yeah, it becomes normal. It's like anything, if you do it too much, you know, the novelty wears off. But
And if you think you've got a natural gift with, like, if you was doing your martial arts and that, and you got a natural gift with that, and that makes you feel good, do that.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I should get back into. I'm thinking of doing that. I'd like to do other podcasts about stuff like that. Because, like, you know, you said about the flow state, when I was doing, like, martial arts a lot, I was sort of in that state for a long time because I was doing my training, it was all exercise, remembering all the katas and forms, and yeah, like you said, time sort of disappears. It's not really an important thing.
It's a hard thing to do, martial arts, isn't it? Because, like, you got to book a class, you got to go in that class and meet these new people. And first of all, you're probably sweating, you're probably but once you've done it twice, man, third time lucky.
Yeah, and
you're
especially
relaxed,
with that,
you know them people are having a good time.
Yeah, with that depression and stuff, that's a really hard thing to do, is to go to, like, now if I went to a new class now, a new club, although I've got a lot of knowledge, I know what I'm doing, I'd still be nervous. I'd still be like, because that's just deep seated.
You're out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I'd get over it and I would go, but I would still have those feelings. Like, I think people think that once you've sort of, I don't think you can ever be cured from depression, but you can have long periods of time without the symptoms of it.
And if you recognise it.
And then you're in control of it a bit more. But if you, I think people think that it'll go away, and it's like, I think it's really important to point out, if you do have, like, true depression, it will never ever
go away,
be gone forever. But it might be subdued and controlled for the rest of your life.
If you can recognise the signs.
If you recognise it and work. And it,
the red flags, the red flags of when you're going to go in it.
Yeah, the triggers and
getting out of your comfort zone, man.
Yeah.
You get out of your comfort zone and you go and do them classes.
Yeah.
And by the fourth, fifth one, you're right into it, mate. That's it. You're not even thinking about your depressive state. No. You're thinking about doing this training with these guys that you've just met. Totally different group. Whereas your last group will be all sitting around the table getting off their heads.
Yeah, not doing it.
Chatting all this.
Yeah.
Never doing it. You're out doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing work in the dark that will come into the light, and then people will see that you're doing
exactly.
good. And they'll hate you for it.
Yeah.
They'll hate you for it.
Yeah, no, it's true. And like, because with like depression, I always see it as it's like a war. You know what I mean? You win some battles, you lose some battles. But ultimately, you know, you're in that constant conflict in a way.
Yeah.
When you're not feeling that conflict, that's when you're on top of it and you're starting to enjoy your life. And I think that was important what you said about challenging yourself. Especially when you feel like if you challenge yourself, you'll start reaching new heights because I've conquered that challenge.
Yeah,
what's next? I've conquered that. What's next?
What else am I really scared of doing?
Yeah.
Like for me, like driving.
Yeah.
I've got a motorbike.
Yeah.
I love riding my motorbike around this village where I live. But oh my god, I go to a town and that is my thing.
Yeah.
But if I can do that once or twice in a month, go out of town and ride my motorbike around there, I feel so much better about it.
Yeah.
I'm laughing to myself when I go now. Same as if you go to a jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu class or whatever sort of class, man. And afterwards, I've done something.
Yeah, I achieved
feel
something.
good.
Yeah.
Chatted to these people. They didn't think I was
they didn't think I was shit.
Yeah, they didn't think I was as much of a twat as I think I am.
Yeah.
And that's how you get out of depressive states, man.
Yeah.
Swapping it around, realising that you're not doing good.
Yeah.
Which art has always been in my thing, like, that's why I got expelled from school, is because
you
I was just sitting there and doing art, you know? And then after I'd done it, I'd get into factory jobs that I didn't want to do, I get sacked all the time, and I've reverted back, like, into childhood.
Yeah,
like,
regress.
Not like a child again,
Yeah.
but what was I most happy doing when I was a kid? I think a lot of people need to think of that. What was you most happiest doing when you was a kid? Oh, I was most happy doing art, or I was most happy in running, or whatever it was, camping. Like, go and do that. Go and do that. Be a kid again, man.
There's no reason we can't do those things.
You can be an adult and a kid at the same time.
Yeah.
The happiest people are the ones that are still excited.
Yeah, they still find joy in things. Yeah.
You see these grumpy old men. They've lost their excitement and joy for things.
Yeah.
They're not looking for anything anymore.
Yeah.
They've got this really single-minded thing of
in my day it was like this.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore, so I'm gonna sit in the pub.
Man up, be an adult, pay your bills and get a family and do all this.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything, man.
No.
Follow your path.
Yeah, and the thing
mine's
is,
art.
Yeah.
Mine's definitely art.
Because I've seen a lot of your pictures and your drawings, and they've all got this sort of edge of darkness, but they've got a level of fun and happiness in them as well.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
that's what
it's
a lot of
quite a
people
good
said, it's
crossover. It's like it can be seen as very sort of moody, but there's always that little hint of fun in it. And so do you think, is that like a planned thing, or is that just how it happens?
I think that just comes out in my art, like the dark and the fun.
Yeah,
maybe. It's probably quite a good reputation of my personality.
Style.
I'm quite a cynical person, really.
Yeah.
Well, not too cynical, but a fun cynical.
Yeah.
You know, which is hard not to go really dark cynical sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a happy soul with a dark mind.
Yeah.
That's how I like to be.
Yeah, and the thing is, being cynical is probably gives you a bit of impetus to it. Because I know some of your stuff sort of, it's not really political, but it's on the edge of, you know, if you're not happy about the way society is or things like that you'll represent that in your art in some way or another. Is that an accurate thing, do you think?
Yeah, I've done Courage the Cowardly Dog. Do you ever watch that cartoon? I suppose you're a bit too old to watch that.
I'm probably too old, yeah.
Well, this dog is really anxious, nervous dog. It was a bit of a horror cartoon, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I done a picture of him watching the computer, going like that with fake news written on it.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
I thought that was quite a good political standpoint.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like that now. Oh, all this fake news and don't listen into it.
Yeah,
it's just going to make you
don't know what's true and what isn't anymore. You know, like how many say Facebook, for example. I mention Facebook a lot because I think, you know, a lot is said on there, especially fake news, fake information. You know, you read something, so and so's done this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And you actually do a bit of research, and like No, they've just put 3 different stories all together.
Yeah, they Photoshop someone's face for another story.
Photoshopping things. Yeah,
and I do it a lot as well. I say a fact that I read on Facebook, and it's bollocks.
Yeah,
ain't right.
Yeah, and I think it's easy. Like I could come up with something made up, put it on Facebook, and say, Jordan Peterson quoted this. Put it up there. People who don't know who he is, you know, they might have heard of him, but they don't know who he is, what he does. They'll believe that. Go here. Look, this psychologist has said this about human psychology, and it's not something I've made up.
You could get a shooting up from bloody the 1980s and put it up and say it happened yesterday. And people believe it. What is it, when the coronavirus was going down, people were photoshopping tents outside Primark.
Oh yes, I remember seeing that.
And it's like,
I believe this
woman was sharing it, and she's like, how small-minded can people be? Putting tents up outside Primark, and I messaged her, like, look closely. You would not be able to put the lines that keep the tent
where
down.
Are you going to bang your tent
into concrete? And she deleted it straight after I said that comment. Which just proves it's all just fake.
But and like when I saw it, I believed it for a second. Because I'm very cynical as well. Like, I'm sceptical. Like I don't believe anything. You know, I need to. If say I read something on Facebook, for example, and it sounds a bit iffy, I'll then research that, and then I'll be able to say, well, actually, these things are happening, and I feel like a smart ass. But I'd rather be a smart ass and tell people that it's fake than people believe the fake shit, you know?
And it is easy to believe it. It is bloody easy to believe it.
Especially with technology and that, you know, I know my way around Photoshop a little bit, and editing and stuff like that, and it's so easy to create things that aren't real, you know, and it looks real, you know what I mean? You wouldn't think it wasn't. And like I urge anyone that believes a lot of this stuff on Facebook to watch some videos on Photoshop and video editing, and then you can actually see how easy it is to manipulate images.
Because that's how I saw the tent thing, because I did believe it. And then I saw someone who does video editing, that's bull, because the tent peg lines won't go in there. And I'm like, oh
you can't keep the tent up.
Exactly,
But so with the art, I'll put a link to your Instagram
mate.
in the description, so anyone that's interested in art can have a look.
Definitely have a look.
Have a look on Instagram, press the follow button, and then they'll be able to see what I mean about, you know, describing how it works and what you mean as well. So
you guys can have a look at the old MoonDog teas.
And you also do commissions as well, don't you? If people want something, you know, they've got an idea, they want some kind of art.
Any idea, anything, I can draw it, any logo, I'm down for it.
That's it. So check it out in the description.
Definitely, Tom.
Just trying to make sure we've covered everything. I think so.
I think we have.
I think we can kind of round it off.
I think we've done a good job.
So the idea about this podcast was to be able to talk about things that are relevant to people out there that might be watching. So depression is quite prevalent at the moment, especially with COVID-19, and people are anxious about the future and
Facebook,
feeling depressed about
iPhones,
their situation. Facebook, everyone's consuming social media a lot more now. Because a lot of people are at home. But if you felt like you learned something from this and you enjoyed watching it, please press. I can't even talk. I'll cut that.
Please press like and subscribe.
So if you found it interesting and you learned something from it, please. Fuck it. You know what I mean. You know what to do. And I think that's probably about it.